to the Game Night Show, where we help change makers change their game and everyone wins. Some highlights of tonight's show. Oh, the games that people play. No games are quite as cutting as love games. And in this week's show, we're going to turn love games on their ears and create and explore some new relationship games around light, playful, and joyous love creating games, which of course will expand everyone's genius in creating clarity and energy from love-inspired games. I'd like to welcome our guests and those watching live today on YouTube. Please go to the chat, say hi, where you're from, and what is your business? A lot of people who watch our show are business owners, so we would love to know what kind of business that you run. You are the live guinea pigs in our experimental games tonight, so welcome. Our guest contestant tonight is Sherry Belul, author of the fabulous book, Say It Now, 33 Ways to Say I Love You to the Most Important People in Your Life. I will introduce her fully in just a moment. Tonight we will play some games, challenge our guest contestant with opening up on part of her business that we can get her some clarity using games. We're going to give away a prize and we're going to share how to keep playing with us all week long, because I know you don't get enough of us as we are. We are sharing this in YouTube links and on Facebook where you can watch it later as well. And if you are watching later, we would love for you to use the hashtag replay right now and let us know that you are here in the chats. I am Jean Berry. I am a creative explorer and your Game Night Show host. Coaches and consultants hire me to make branded games for their transformational work, and I work with an extraordinary team to make that happen. So let me introduce you to the Game Maker team and panelists on this show tonight. First of all, I have Astrid Mueller, brand magic maker and official Sparkle Girl. She opens creativity and connection in a deeper way for biz owners. Say hi to our listeners, Astrid.
Hi, everyone. So happy to be here. Thank you.
Beautiful. In addition, we have the beautiful and fabulous Kavita Singh, official magic catcher with business x-ray goggles that allow her to see where things are going and how to maximize impact in the world. Say hey!
Hey, everybody.
So glad you are here, as always. Our guest contestant tonight is Sherry Belul. Sherry is an entrepreneur and author. Her forthcoming book, or actually not forthcoming, it's out. Her book, Say It Now, is a loving revolution in creating a more related and joy-filled world. In the midst of everyday life, it's easy to forget how extraordinary and fleeting our lives are. Sherry's philosophy is to make moments into gifts. She is passionate about helping people find creative, intentional, and impactful ways to celebrate life and to express love for family and friends. Don't wait. Say it now. You can find Sherry at simplyscelebrate.net, and you can find her book on Amazon. Hey, Sherry, so glad you're here.
Hey, I'm so glad to be here.
So tell me, Sherry, what was it that got you so excited to support people in love?
Well, the title of the book is Say It Now, and where that comes from is that I used to go to funerals, and people tell all the stories and they share the appreciation and they put the photos up, and I would always say, like, why don't we say it now? Like, when someone's still alive, why do we wait until someone has passed, and they've died before we actually express all this goodness to them? So that's a big reason why I wrote the book. And I also just feel that we live in a culture that is rather focused on what's wrong and what's missing and what we need to fix about ourselves. And people get this mindset from a very early age that there's something wrong with us. And so what I really want to do is offer this antidote, which is, to let people know why we love them, what makes them so great, what makes them unique. So that's what I'm excited about.
Beautiful. And so I am excited tonight because we're going to play some love games, and games that share love and light in a playful and joyous manner. And so tonight we are going to open with, I think that Astrid and Kavita are going to be excited because I'm not going to make them do things fast. No rapid fire game today. We are opening with an alphabet love game. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through the alphabet with love. So words that mean love or are the antithesis of love. We will start. We will start with A and go to Z. We're going to go around the panelist. I will start. And if we come to you and you don't have a word for that, it is okay. You can simply pass. However, I am going to keep track. And the one who gets the most words is going to be crowned Queen, Royal Supreme Queen, a winner of words. And so, if you are watching today and you want to help us out in the chat, you can go ahead and, as we're going through the alphabet, start adding your words that mean love or are the antithesis of love. So we're going to go around the circle. I have me at the top. Sherry, you will be second. So you will have B. I'll give you a little forewarning. Then we'll go Kavita and I know, and then Astrid, and then come around. If you're really quick, you can figure out what your next letter is. I don't think I'm quite that quick. But I'm going to start. Yes? Oh, I thought you were saying something. Okay, so.
Oh, no, I'm not that quick either. I can't figure.
Okay, it's okay. This is a take a deep breath games because we're just going to go around and you get to just think for a moment. Okay, so I'm going to start with A, and that would be adoration.
B is for beauty.
C as in caressing.
D as in darling.
Nice.
E as in everlasting.
F as in fantastic.
Nice. G as in gentle. I don't know if that counts.
H as in heartfelt.
I as in into you. Is that just one word?
J as in juicy.
Ooh.
Nice. K as in kisses.
L as in loving.
M as in marvelous.
Nice.
N as in neato.
So before I say for O, is this a PC show?
Let it fly, Astrid. Let it fly.
Let it fly. Okay, O for orgasm.
P for pretty.
Oh, Q for queen.
Nice.
R for rad.
I love it. S for sensual.
T for thoughtful.
U for unforgettable.
V for very amazingly wonderful.
I love how you wiggled that into a whole thing. W as in wanting.
X rated.
Bring it. Y as in yours truly.
Aww.
E for Z for zebralicious.
Okay, I don't know about the rest of you, but I definitely think we can crown Sherry for that, for
Yes.
totally coming up with the her own word that we actually knew what it meant in the end. Like, so that works for me. So Sherry, Supreme Queen, winner of words tonight.
I love it. And I love that. I love that we created a whole alphabet of love words. We didn't even have to stop the game. That's pretty amazing.
No, I'm very impressed. That was a much easier game for us to win than the fast rhyming games. So cool. All right. Well, if you are watching and you've thought of some other cool words for love, we would love for you to put those in the chat as well. All right, so our next game is inspired by bibliomacy, which means divination by the book. Now, we do this in some form each week, and we've had some fun magic show up. So we thought we'd put it to the love theme. And I would love for you, if you're joining in the live stream, to actually join in this first game, because we're going to ask some questions. And this can be totally for you, too. So in honor of our guest, Sherry, tonight, who is an author, we are going to play this divination with her amazing book, Say It Now. Yay! Yay! Exactly. Doesn't that sound fun? And so I've got, for those of you watching, you can see the book on the screen. It's quite a beautiful, fun cover. And so what we like to do is ask a question. And because most of the people that are watching our show are often business people, our first question tonight is, what is the best way to move forward in your business right now? What is the best way to move forward right now in business? And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to close my eyes, and I'm going to randomly open the book and point to a spot, and that is going to be the answer to our question. And all our panelists will be able to weigh in, and then Sherry will want some feedback on perhaps what it is that inspired this piece of the book as well, maybe to get more insight. So here we go. Our question is...
God, I was just going to say, this is really fun.
So the best way to move forward in business right now. All right, right there and here. Okay, so we landed in a place that says sample questions you can ask someone's child. And the thing I pointed at was, does she make you laugh, and when? So our question was the best way to move forward in business right now. Our answer was, does she make you laugh, and when?
That's so brilliant.
I love it.
An explanation.
What did you say, Astrid?
I'm just like, this almost doesn't need an explanation of how that can pertain to business, but I'm happy to chime in.
Oh my gosh.
Please do.
Okay. So for me, it's a no-brainer. I'm actually already living the business with that inspiration of constantly asking myself, what lights me up? Is this fun? And if it isn't fun, how can I shift it, delegate it, or do something else? And how that's helped me is literally jumpstart my business into feeling like vacation every day and doing what I love and letting go of everything that is not serving me more and more. And that, of course, accelerates. And it comes from the energy of play. So I love that inspiration. It's so brilliant.
Kavita, you want to add something to that?
Sure, I'm laughing at Sherry's reaction. This is how the game goes, and you'll have so much fun as we go through tonight together. Yes, so for me, I love the fact that as we tune into our business, right, the energy of the business, and yes, it brings joy and fun, and we can play with that. It's also extending that for everything that we think is, or we believe is outside of our business. Does that bring us joy as well? Because the way we do one thing is usually the way we do everything. And even though we may think some of the things are outside the business, it's really not. So for example, even if it's the things we eat or the way we show up with our partner or children, that energy transmutes all the way through our business. So what if we chose the model of these questions of seeing it all through the lens of joy, and if it isn't for whatever reason, we get to be aware of it and be like, oh, okay, here is something we can shift the energy of and up level, right? We can go take it to the next level. So thank you, Jean, for magically choosing that question.
Nice.
And the other way that I thought was actually relevant, which is interesting, we can find so many different ways to interpret this, is that I can see that in even asking your business. Like, it's saying, do you want to laugh today? What should we do in this business to laugh today? And take that question as questions for your child as questions for your business. When does your business laugh?
Oh,
Nice.
I love this. I love it. Can I chime in?
Please, yes, we'd like to hear from you too, Sherry.
It was magical. Well, I happen to know why that's in the book. And so partly why that's in the book is it's about giving a gift where you interview someone's child so that you reflect back to them, what makes them so wonderful as a parent. But what I was thinking about when you said this is that this is so great to reflect back to the person that we're serving. What makes them so wonderful? To be sure to bring that joy and appreciation to the people that we're serving and to remind them all the time how they bring us joy. So that could be another way to look at it.
Absolutely. That's really sweet. That's really awesome. All right, so I would actually like to ask your book another question, but before we do that, Sherry, I know that you like to play games with your family and that your mom enjoys playing games as well, and you guys get together and do some really fun things. What is a favorite memory or memorable game that you've played with your family?
I love that you know that about us. So just to give some context, one of the favorite things that we do is, we were talking about the holidays before we went live on air. What our family does at Christmas time is that those of us who live on the West Coast always go to the East Coast to visit my mom and my nieces and people that live there. And instead of bringing gifts for the holidays, we create a day called the Holiday Hoopla. And the Holiday Hoopla is a day of themed games and a really nice dinner. And so the games, I'm trying to think because there are so many, but just as an example, we might do a spoof on, say, Survivor. I don't know if you guys know that reality TV show, but we would do a spoof on that. And for instance, people would do everything from, how many chocolate kisses can you eat in a minute to how long can you stand on one leg holding, something over your head like they would do in the show. Sometimes we do crafty games. People have to they have to decorate gingerbread house, for instance, but we give them a theme. One year they had to do a tropical theme. So we do all kinds of games, and sometimes they include dress up and dance parties and the whole gamut. So I'm glad you asked that because it just lights me up to think about my family doing all these goofy games. It's a lot of fun. And it's much better than something material in this case, because then it's like we always take pictures and then I can send the photos afterwards. So we get to laugh a lot together, and then we also get the memories to share later on.
That's beautiful. I'm glad I asked too.
I'm glad you asked. That's
That
one of
is
the
so
very
cool.
favorite things in the world is the Holiday Hoopla.
I love that.
Can I say something?
Of course.
I think that is such a beautiful role modeling of how we could shift our typical paradigm of celebrating love, like you seem to be promoting in your book, by just really celebrating experiences and people and creating experiences. And those are the gifts instead of materialistic things. So I love that you do that with games and holidays even, and then sharing those experiences. And making memories. That is so beautiful. I love that so much.
Thank you, because that is exactly the heart of what I do. Is really I want people to start thinking of gifts as far as the moments that we share with each other. Because we all know, I'm pretty sure I can say this, that we all know those are our best gifts, right? When you're laughing with a friend or you're having some zany experience, I mean, that's what we remember. So why not start framing them as gifts and consciously and intentionally creating more of those?
Nice.
So thank you for seeing that. I appreciate that. We just met and you already got it.
That's awesome. So I would like to ask another question of your book. And the second question I'd like to frame actually around love and business, because I think that that's something that sometimes we forget to put together, like that they actually go together. And so the second question is going to be, what is the best way to show my love in business and building relationships inside my business?
Nice.
All right. So let's flip over to the book, the magic book today, our magic divination book. And so with our question, what is the best way to show our love in business and building relationships? Here we go. So I'm on page 65, and it says, then, in each of the empty pockets where those missing chocolates used to be, curl up a love list slip. When the box is open, your recipient gets an assortment of chocolate sweets and love treats. So I think we figured out what this is for. You can see the very first is a Valentine's or anniversary box is the name of this little chapter. And but I think that this is going to be fun to play with, is the empty pockets where those missing chocolates used to be, curl up a love list slip. That's really sweet. All right. So in putting that in terms of business then, what do y'all think?
I love the whole idea of treats, and even it feels like you can reinvent what that means for your clients. So not necessarily chocolates and all that, but the feeling of how does your client feel when you offer a treat? Like, what does the meaning of treat mean for your clients? Sometimes it can be like extra quality time that they get to be in the room with you. Sometimes it can be something tangible, like a gift in the mail. Sometimes it can be creating other surprises. As Jean and Astrid know, one of my favorite terms ever is surprise and delight me, right? I love to say surprise and delight me. And so even in having this conversation, I would say, well, universe, surprise and delight me. Sometimes just to have that expansive, open energy where something unexpected and amazing happens during the day, and then I'm all lit up by it. My husband is dancing right now as I'm talking about surprise and delighting me. He's dancing right next to me.
Oh.
So there we go. My case in point.
That's amazing. And I love thinking about actually in this context because it came up right away with empty pockets, which made me think of the empty pockets that people have in business where they don't put love there or relationships there. Like people feel very empty and not connected with. And so that really stuck out for me as being an important part of the message that we got here, is to really recognize that people have a desire to fill their pockets.
I love that. So I have a confession. It's so funny. I think I may have gotten the answer while you were doing your questioning, because I totally zoned out and forgot the question. But I think I already have the answer, because I was thinking I got a visual for something else. Can you say the question one more time, and then I put it together?
Yeah, so the question was, what is the best way to bring love into our business and building relationships?
Awesome. So I'm going to share what happened for me. So as you were talking, I was in this zone from earlier of seeing us. I was getting this future visual of us being on stage and sitting on these really comfy, awesome chairs that feel like play. Almost like I got a visual, like they can literally like see stars or something, where you cuddle in and everybody feels like play. So, and what I got from your box then, with the empty slots and the treats, talking about that, the sense of retreats, of retreating and treats in the sense of retreat energy is like, that's when everything becomes magical, when we can give that experience to our clients, and like seeing us like being on these awesome, really cool orange funny animal looking chairs and being all cozy, and all the guests on that cruise basically would like sit in the same chairs. Like, what an experience would that be? What a treat. That's the visuals that I got from that.
I love it.
I love that. This is so awesome. I also had two things come up. I mean, one is, again, because I know what I was referring to was to surprise people, and I guess to the surprise and delight, that they think it's a box of chocolates, which it is, but there's way more, right? So it's chocolates, but you've removed some and put in all this extra love. So there's that element of surprise. And it's also, my son's been studying comedy, and I don't know if you guys know what a broken assumption is, but where you set something up is one thing, but then there's like something totally new and exciting. And so I think that's something really great to bring into business, is that sense of there's a way that they think something's going to happen, but it's way better than what they thought it was going to be. But the second thing is, Jean, when you said empty pockets, I loved that you pointed that out, because my business actually grew from a really dark, empty, hard place. And I think it's really important to remember that we can bring love and joy and light into those empty places. And that's actually a huge part of my message, and it can be a huge part of every business to look for where are the dark corners for our clients where they're really having a hard time, and how can we surprise them and delight them even in that darkness. So I love that.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for the backstory. That's really fabulous. I love that. So, Sherry actually walks her talk. And she and I actually share an affinity for children's books. And she gifted me a fabulous book. Let me put it on the screen here, called Mole Music. And so I thought we'd actually make a game out of this book tonight as well. But we're not going to divinate it. Well, in a way we are, but we're going to do it in a different kind of way. And so, although I'm going to open it at random and I'm going to point to something in the illustrations, we're going to come together for whatever I point to, and we're going to see how you could gift this to someone. So I'm going to shut my eyes, point to an illustration, and then each of the panelists will have an opportunity to say how they would gift this to someone they love. All right.
This is so much fun. I love you guys.
Okay, I pointed right at this tree. So it's on the trunk of this big, huge tree. You can see Mole is playing music in there. I love this book. But so how do you gift the gift of a tree to those you love?
Can I go? I have an answer.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Well, what instantly came to me is that what we can do for the people we love, especially because you said trunk of the tree. So I thought of something really solid. And I think one of the best things we can give people that we love is that sense that we're holding them, we're supporting them always through everything. And so to me, that gift would be to, which I do love to do, which is to try to look out for people in my life who may be feeling wobbly, maybe a little unsteady. And how can I offer them some strength? How can I support them, hold them up when they need that? And I think that's one of the most beautiful gifts we can give each other, is to really pay attention and be that support.
That's beautiful. And where I went actually on that one tree, I went to, well, what's the product of tree? Paper. and just as Sherry gave me this beautiful book, I love, and even stationery, or all those things that really are very tactile and fabulous, things that you can record your thoughts, journals, like that's totally where I went, is this paper products, because I love them all. We could stand in the stationery store forever and like pick up beautiful things, right?
I love that so much. And for me, what I got was being present, like present as your physical presence of holding space for somebody, so that they reconnect with themselves, they find themselves, they see their strengths before they can expand even further. And so what a beautiful gift it is to be present with somebody, to give your love, to give your time, to give your energy, and to know that it's allowing for this beautiful opportunity of foundational growth, So that's what came up.
Oh, that's nice.
I got exactly what you said, Kavita. But pinging off of that, I guess I will say that a blossoming spring branch of a tree that is blooming as a surprise and bringing that home to somebody. So there.
Oh, that's really sweet. Oh, well, that was kind of fun. I kind of like that as a different way to play our game. That's really awesome. Well, we're going to actually just keep on moving on with some more games because, and like to tell our viewers, Sherry doesn't know any of the games that we're going to play. This is all of a surprise. I love the looks on her face. She's like, "That's so cool."
This is so much fun. I love this. It's amazing.
Well, I always like to bring out actually a game that's near and dear to my heart, which is the Angels, Peacocks, and Butterflies game. And so we are going to play that tonight because I really like to share the gift of this game with our contestants. And so, Sherry, I would love to play this game with you today. And let me just flip over here.
And spoiler alert, Jean invented the game because she didn't even say it.
You can say that, Jean.
There we go. Oh, I put you in as I'm trying to get us both on the screen. Nope, that's not it. We can do it. Add Sherry. Nope, that's not going to happen. So I'll put us back on all. Sorry. All of us will be here. Okay, so we start with the Angel Being deck, and I'm going to shuffle it, and you're just going to say stop when we're at your card today, Sherry.
Stop.
Service.
Ooh.
And I'm going to put that under our camera over here so I can pull that up in just a second. Then we have the Butterfly deck.
I love these. Are so beautiful, Jean.
Thank you.
Just seeing the cards are lovely. Stop.
Ooh, I almost dropped the whole thing there. Chakra 3, Action Plan and Execution.
Woo!
There we go. And then the Peacock deck. And here we go.
Stop.
Communicating. Very nice. So I'm going to just flip the screen over so our viewers can see that. There we go. And now I'm going to take this little journal card and I'm going to fill out what we got, which was service, action plan, and execution. I always liked that one because it was execution. Execution is a great word because it means that you're only going to do that one thing and everything else is done. We're going to execute this one and all the rest are done. And communicating. So there are other words on the journal card, and it forms the beginning of a sentence that your brain cannot finish. The only way you can finish it is by listening to your intuition. So I'm going to speak the beginning of the sentence, and then you're just going to listen to your intuition, and whatever pops in your head is the right end to the sentence. Now, if you are also watching the show tonight, I would like you to add in what you get as the end of your sentence that Sherry drew for you. So here's the sentence, and you can't do it wrong, so whatever pops in your head is the right answer. I am service in my action plan and execution. Therefore, I am communicating
Love.
Ah, of course you are. And so what that sentence is it's actually, there's no doing inside of that. It's all just who you're being. And so it's a really cool place where you just get to stand. Now the next part of the game is to actually take that card, which was our angel card, which is service, and we're going to become that. And when you become service, what happens is you feel where it lives inside your body. So I'd like you to become service. Where does it live in your body?
I feel it in like my, like here, center.
In the center of your body, kind of the torso, heart, solar plexus kind of area?
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. And so I'm just going to add you on there. And so I'd like you to just grow that now. So we're going to grow service from the center of your body to fill your whole body. And so you are now service in all of your organs, and your service in your whole torso. Your service in your shoulders, your service in your arms and hands and fingers. You are service in your hips. You are service in your thighs and knees and calves and feet and toes. You are service in your neck and head. Your service in your whole body, and there's nowhere in your body that isn't service. In fact, we're going to bump it out about a foot from you, and you're going to be in a big old bubble of service. And from here, I'm going to ask your intuition another question. And here's the question. In light of that, in light of being service, what is your key action for today?
Be present.
Nice. And do you know what to do to be present?
Breathe. And you know what? I also need to live from here. I need to live from the center of my body.
Ooh.
And not up here. That's where all the monkey mind. For all the monkey mind. Down here is where just the pure presence is.
Nice. And so for doing that today, and for doing that action today, and just being mindful of it today, you get a miracle. And that miracle happens today, tomorrow, or next week, or next year. But you've shifted the matrix of your time because you've done the action that your soul called for you to do. And so when you play every day, you start to get miracles every single day.
Ooh.
And so for those of you who've seen the game before, you know this, but for Sherry and for others who don't have it, inside the little booklet, there are tally sheets where you can tally what you get every day. And then every 25 days, you can do a decoding and see some of the deeper themes and deeper messages and maybe even blind spots that are showing up in your world and your business. And
Jean, I love this.
I'm so glad you got to play that with us today.
Me too. Thank you, thank you. And your cards are beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Well, that was fun. It's so funny, as I was thinking about games about love, we're saying, so what are the games about love and where does that live? And in a lot of traditions, people will use the chakras to, align in their body and everything else for opening up love. And so I found this game that I had in my cupboard. Where's the cover of it? I can't find the cover. Oh, here it is. Called the Chakra Wisdom Oracle Guidebook. And inside there are cards. And there's a whole bunch of cards for every single chakra. And so I pulled out all of the heart chakra ones from this deck. And so I thought today we would actually pull one of these cards and in service actually to you, Sherry. And so I'd like to know, and so we have two things actually that we're going to do. So we're going to pull a card and we're actually going to spin a spinner for you today.
Woo!
I know. And so this is just for you. And so I'm kind of curious if there's something inside of your business, because most people who are watching can actually relate to anything that we ever struggle with or have questions about or, trying to figure out in our business. And so I'm curious what part of your business you just like some clarity on or some opening or any of those kind of things.
Yes, I actually really do. And Jean, you'll understand this. I don't know if others will, but in the book, one of my favorite gifts is called a love list, which is basically a list of all the reasons you love somebody. Very simple idea, but very profound. And lately I've been experiencing doing it in groups. Jean was kind enough to host one for me. And I've been noticing the real power of doing these love list parties, And so I've been holding this question of how do I do this in the world in a big way? I think this is what I'm here to do. I think I'm here to do these lists with people, and we get to experience it together. So that's my question is what's the next step?
Okay, cool. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a card. The second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to spin the spinner. And I can tell right now that Astrid is actually drawing you a picture. And so we've got multi-dimensional things happening to get you some deep truth, all in the world of games. And so I'm very excited about this. So actually, I'm going to lay these out, and you tell me, just give me a number from 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 7 of them. You just tell me a number 1 to 7, and I'll pick that card for you.
5.
Okay, I'm going to pull this out here and then flip it over. Ooh, interesting. You all can't see it, I know. They're like, what? Cool, I'm going to flip over to there. And I'm going to put the spinner on here at the same time, and I'm going to spin that. Now, on the spinner, there are actually life areas that can sometimes impact your ability to actually do that in a deep kind of way. And so this can give you a message, because business is not all just about the business of reaching out to people. It's about the business of taking care of you. And so sometimes we find those things inside of our business as well. So I'm going to go ahead and spin the spinner for that. Woo.
Did you make the spinner?
I did. And so it's this is just unexplainable as always. On the spinner, we spun love and romance. Which is area number 2, which sometimes we get messages from the numbers as well. And so I would take that to mean personally that it's not a deficient area. That's just saying, just keep focusing there. Like that is all there is to do in that area. And for the card on the heart chakra, I drew the card called grief.
Ooh.
And which is very interesting.
And I think that's a super powerful card as well, Jean. Mm-hmm. Can I jump in here?
Please do.
Okay. So when I heard of the card grief, what comes to mind is the whole energy of cycles, right? Everything works in cycles. And sometimes we know what love looks like when it's unconditional, when it's yummy, when it's awesome. And sometimes grief is also a sign of giving love, right? Even like when we've lost someone, there's a space as well for grief. And sometimes we judge that, but it is part of the process of love, of healing the heart, because the heart has been so expanded, right? Sometimes, especially when it's rapid expansion, as in the loss of somebody or a broken heart, and it shows up as grief. But yet, grief is part of that love energy and is part of that expansion. And when your heart is healed from grief, of course, it will never be the same. But your heart has become so much more, and your powers of being capable and understanding another human being and offering compassion, that's where it strengthens your energy and your wisdom around the whole meaning of compassion. And so it's such a beautiful gift, Jean, that you brought that card to the table today. So
that's amazing. And the other thing it says inside of the book is something that actually feels like real validation for what you're doing, Sherry, because it says the key words are love, commitment, and vulnerability, which, see, I know that that's part of your mission in the world as well. So I love that as just total confirmation of everything that you're doing, like healing grief, like that's what this does. There's no question about that. But your question was really specifically, how do I reach more people? Which then says you just keep leaning into that, right? You keep telling the stories that you tell.
Wow. Well, yeah, is it okay? Can I jump in?
Please.
Because this is so helpful for me because, again, Jean knows my full story, but my world, Simply Celebrate as my business, grew from grief, right? My own, wanting to get myself off this planet, my suicidal, anxious tendencies. And I have a special place in this work So, for instance, Mother's Day is coming up, and when I'm inviting people to make love lists, I, of course, invite them to do it for their mother or mother-in-law, but I also invite people to think about, is there someone who's recently, their mother's passed away? Is there someone who's lost a child? Can we give this extra love to people who are grieving? And I do tend to have a special feeling and a leaning in toward that. And so I think that's what I heard immediately when you said grief, is for me not to get too far from my roots, really, which is that this is a healing practice. And while it's also fun and light and playful, there's a deeper place for it that I don't ever want to forget.
That's amazing. That is really amazing. So, yeah, that is beautiful. Now, I know actually Astrid drew a picture also for your business, and so I'm excited for her to share that.
So here's my creative corner table at the moment, and I was drawing from, I have a sticker bag here and colors, and I basically just drew as you guys were speaking, and I wrote the question here, loveless parties in big way, what's the next step? So we have a heart here, a big heart that I felt inspired to draw as a map, and then I have a few colors that showed up. Gold is a color of abundance in my drawings, and it shows up here. It almost looks like wings up here, and there's a big circle. It's all in the center of the, like side center of the heart, but it's in the middle of the heart. And then we have the color here of light violet, which for me means cleansing. And so what I'm instantly hearing is like that you basically make a whole cleansing of this can be a metaphor for cleansing the mind and stories and the heart. Make that the foundation. So basically what you ladies were all talking about already, this can also pertain to grief. So you make that the foundation. And you keep doing that as you lean into the heart. And this can pertain to your messaging, basically. Like, I feel this kind of shows, in a way, your brand magic of how you communicate, like how you tell your story, and also how you can take action. So you cleanse and you tune into that, tune into your heart, and that's when abundance automatically shows up. It almost looks like the apothecary symbol, the international one with a snake a little bit, that and kind of like angel wings as well. So, and then I got the star, which showed up like right, it almost makes like an angel head here a little bit. But this color is a kind of a rusty color, and I don't have a typical meaning for that color, but the word that I got before you even talked about the whole grief thing was sensitivity. And it's like a subtle energy, like as if you imagine clay. I got the sense of like when you touch clay, how super subtle that is. It's almost like you have the sensitivity for empathy, like for people and for emotions, that kind of thing. So that is one of your superpowers, is what I'm getting from this, to really lean into that and embrace that. And that is almost like the head of your abundance, to really embrace that. And then here, the blue is the color of the mind. So getting out of your head and like really letting that go, dropping that. And then you become the lighthouse automatically as you share your message. And here is a star, a sparkly golden star that showed up. And gold and yellow is the color of joy for me. And so I feel it also has to do that people will then see you as a shining star, and you'll be the lighthouse, and you shine like a star. All of those things. So you want to share what came up for you as you hear all this? How does that resonate?
That's so beautiful. First of all, when I saw the drawing, I instantly just loved it. Like, when you even said a word, like, I just was like, oh, it's so beautiful. And I saw someone like dancing, like an angelic dancer. But also what you don't know about me is that a lot of my teaching has to do with pinpricks of light. It's just finding one pinprick of light, which could be just
oh my gosh,
right, like just a tiny, like that little star. Or what's so beautiful is that the way that I stayed on this planet was by finding tiny moments where I didn't want to kill myself. That was kind of how the path started. But I got to the point where I was creating moments of joy for myself, and then I started creating them for other people. And that's the real secret sauce, right? Is creating light for others. And you had the lighthouse. That to me is the biggest honor, which is to be able to not only just create tiny pinpricks of light, but to be a lighthouse.
Yes.
Holy, like
That's
that.
amazing.
That's so beautiful, and the colors are beautiful. The colors are that's amazing.
Well,
Yeah,
and I
that.
love that it kind of looks like a magic wand too.
Oh, I love that you see that. That's so cool. Everybody
Not
sees different
not only the
metaphors.
magic wand parts, but if you look at the drawing that you made, Astrid, and you look at Sherry right now, you can see she's wearing the same colors that you drew.
Wait, oh, a little bit.
The
What is
orange, yeah, the orange and the
Yeah, that
sparkle.
for
Can you see
sure.
that? No, even
Yes.
your jacket, Sherry, it's like matching the angel wings, right? Right?
Oh, this is gold in this instance, but I
Yeah.
love the metaphor that you see it as a similar because yeah, I kind of see the shade of green from this distance as well. Oh my gosh, that's wild.
I love it. The drawing, I feel like I could just stare at forever. It does feel magical.
They
Yeah.
are
And
magical.
especially, I love that you captured the part also of getting out of the head, because that's so.
Just happened.
Yep.
I just moved from that pure place of dancing, joy, and love, and
Yep.
see where it goes.
Yep. That's it.
Well, beautiful.
Yay.
Thank you so much for that. And we're getting to the part where we're kind of wrapping up our show, but I would like to let you know that if you are watching the show, you can win a prize by simply typing in the chat, excuse me, what most inspired you about Sherry and our kind of ping pong tonight between all of these little games that we played. So again, just add it in the chat what you are most inspired about, and you can win a prize. Now, to receive your prize, you need to go ahead and find us on Facebook. Type it in the chat and go to Game Night Show in Facebook and send me a message there, and I will find you and send you that prize.
Woo!
So I know, it's very cool. So, any final words of wisdom, Sherry?
Wow. What wants to come through me right at this moment is, again, it's the magic of showing up. And this has been such a gift to me. And I want to circle back to that idea of let's really change the way that we look at the word gift, because you three and everybody else who's here energetically with us, this is such a big gift to me, to have this wisdom, to have this joy, this laughter, playing games that are actually really meaningful. This is what it's about. Community, connection, joy, support. And I want us not to forget that. Like, you guys have intentionally set this up to bring this gift to people. And we can all do that all the time. Like, so when we wake up in the morning, I always ask myself, what can I do today to surprise somebody? What could I do to set up a situation or an experience that will be like a gift? So maybe just leave everyone with that. Like, can we remind ourselves more often that who we are is such a gift, and how can we bring that intentionally to people in our lives?
That is beautiful. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you for that, Sherry.
Yeah.
That just totally lit me up and gave me goosebumps all over. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. Well, it is time for our commercial break. and so I would like to just, first of all, thank you for coming to the Game Night Show. I am Jean Berry, and I hope you enjoyed our show tonight. Please click on the YouTube subscribe to be notified of upcoming live shows. We are live here on Tuesday nights at 7:30 Eastern Time. Games are an incredible way to grow your coaching or consulting business. A branded game can cause leads, engagement, and magnetic followings, as well as grow brand memory, referrals, and allow you to grow your business to 6 or even 7 figures. We have created adventure games, spiritual games, astrology games, real estate games, and more. The sky is really the limit. Would you like to explore a game for your business? You can find me at the Game Night Show on Facebook. Send me a message there. And you can book a play call with me. And we can chat about your business, game ideas, and how a game could grow your business with ease and fun. Secondly, do you want to play more and have more intuitive alignment and be in a like-minded community? We invite you to play with Astrid, Kavita, and I in the Zap Adventure Club Facebook group. It is a fun, engaging place where we make things happen fast and fun with perfect alignment. So again, thank you all for being here. We will see you on the next game night show. Woohoo!
Bye. Love you all.